Yeah, hi friends. Doc South with you, and uh, I'm still basking in the afterglow of having done uh, the historic Chester Business Association's car show again this year. They were nice enough to have me there, along with SC3 Entertainment too, and gee, I had a great time. And I always like to, when I'm sitting in Chester, I grew up there. My family moved there when I was, I think, 10 years old, when I was in fifth grade. And I loved it. Chester was just a perfect town for me. I just absolutely always had a good time. There was always something to do. And it's a somewhat of a historic town. There's it has been there pretty much forever. You get right down to it, and there were some mighty old buildings in town, and some abandoned, which of course us kids would go climbing through like crazy, and others that were active. Like there was a place called the Crossroads Tavern. Now this would have been at the Crossroads on the east end of Main Street, and where you would, if you're heading for Mendham, you'd make a 90-degree right hand turn, and about 5 or 6 miles, you'd be in Mendham. You could go straight, and you'd wind up in Ironia, and you could go to the left at that intersection, again from the center of town, and you'd wind up in some of the back roads around the farmland and such in Chester. And there used to be, when I was a kid, there was a building there called the Crossroads Tavern. Okay, Crossroads Tavern. And it was a very old structure. I think it dated back, I wouldn't want to say for sure. I wouldn't want to get the history buffs, the history experts, the Chester history experts on my mad at me, but I think it was there in the 1700s. It was a very old building, and it was a tavern. I know my Uncle Don would go down there sometimes, have a drink, and my parents, us kids would go, and we'd sit at the bar and have a soda, while the grown-ups were having a beer or whatever. And it was a nice place. I believe they served food as well. I don't recall eating there, but probably did. Okay. Well, one day the place caught fire, I know, and it was an awful fire. Place went right, pretty much totally destroyed. Don't know what caused the fire. I remember, though, being there to see it. And it's a pretty sad thing to see. And again, a excruciatingly old building, which made it even worse to see it go. But I remember one day as I was older, I'd say in my 20s, I was sitting around with some friends, maybe at the antique shop my first wife Molly and I had. We were just kind of sitting, maybe having a beer, and at the house, and one of my friends said, "Hey, you remember that Crossroads Tavern?" I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Sure. When I was a kid, I used to go there a lot with the folks." Or I'd stop in if I was on a bike hike. We'd go in and maybe get a soda or something, glass of water. They were always nice to us. Well, the guy says, "Do you know?" He says, "Do you know there used to be?" I think he said it was a monkey used to be in that bar. The bar owner had a pet monkey. In fact, he says, I think it was more than a monkey. It was like an orangutan. And it would sit at the bar. It would sit at the bar, and I guess he wore pants or whatever, but he'd just kind of sit there and hang out with people. Yeah, just like anyone else would go to the bar. The orangutan would just kind of sit at the bar. And I guess if you got really blasted, I suppose you could have a pretty meaningful conversation with the old boy. And evidently, from what I hear, the orangutan liked a brewski now and then, too. And people would buy him a beer. and, and of course, like most things, most living beings, if you drink too much beer, sometimes you get rowdy. And evidently, this orangutan would get kind of uppity. And next thing you know, some poor bar patron, some poor guy is getting into a fist fight with the orangutan. That's what I hear. And I don't know. I, I just, I get, I'm thinking of that Clint Eastwood. What was that? When there's this one movie where he has a pet orangutan, kind of goes around with him. Clyde, I think. I don't know the name of this particular primate that was at the again at the crossroads, but evidently he was big, and he was evidently a mean drunk. No, he didn't have a car, thank God. But again, this would have been, I'm guessing, I never saw him, so let's see. I came to Chester in the 50s. I'm assuming this is something that was going on in the, judging from the age of the people that told me about it. I'm guessing the very late 30s into the 40s that this orangutan held court at the Crossroads Tavern. Maybe not, but that's what I hear. I'd love to get the lowdown. If someone who knows a little more than me about Chester history would care to get in touch with me, boy, I'd like to. Yeah, DocSouthShow@yahoo.com. DocSouthShow@yahoo.com. I'd love your input on it. But from what I understand, it's a little known true Chester tale. Again, the whole place is gone now. I don't think the orangutan started the fire. He wasn't there then. No, by then he had gone to that great primate tavern in the sky, I guess. Yeah, I'm just saying. No, I don't know if he ever attended bar. He might have. I don't know, maybe if the bartender had a few drinks. Maybe you could just ask the orangutan to draw you another draft. I don't know. I don't know. How much would you tip him? Yeah. Well, in any case. Anyway, I'll see you later, friends. Thank you. And yep, good old Chester. I'll see you later. Bye now.